Thank you, Mr. Chair. And through you, Mr. Bradley, you spoke of the importance of electricity. Do you have an opinion on the electricity grid capacity and whether that we have sufficient electricity infrastructure to even facilitate Bill C-5?
I don't think there's a requirement for electricity capacity specifically for Bill C-5, but it will remain to be seen whether projects that will build upon the electricity infrastructure of the country are in fact covered and identified as national interest projects. We're certainly hoping that some of them will be.
And if I may just turn to Ms. Kokinos, you spoke of a 2-year time limit. Are you getting that from the bill, or is that something that you are just speaking to in general?
In our report, Build Big Things, we did recommend a 2-year regulatory and permitting approvals timeline. The government has committed to a 2-year timeline outside of the bill, so it has chosen not to legislate this.
So it's not in the bill?
It's not in the bill,
okay.
But it is a government commitment outside the bill.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to go back and forth. Back to you, Mr. Bradley. Would you see resource projects like oil and gas extraction being in the national interest under Bill C-5?
I'm here representing the electricity sector, so I'm only going to be talking to electricity projects. My colleagues that work for the oil and gas associations, I'm sure, have strong views on that.
Okay. Well, I can ask the constitutional expert. Back to you, Ms. Kokinos. With respect to strategic investment officer, I found that very interesting that you spoke about that. Now, would something like that include a watchdog for tenders and deliverables? Because we had a lot of problems during COVID with respect to waste and mismanagement. Do you see the transparency in that office as something that needs to be developed and perhaps operationalized?
The real benefit of a strategic investment office and coordinating the financing is that it is really going to allow the government to optimize its federal spend on any particular project, because they're going to be able to align the best type of funding with for a particular project. So you won't have, for example, project proponents going to window A with their proposal, window B, and window C, and trying to see, for example, how much federal funding they could get. It would allow, through probably NDAs, for example, that's what we would envisage, the federal government to work with the proponent to look to see exactly what is it that's going to unlock that final investment decision for a project, with a view to minimizing how much the federal government has to invest in a project. So there are real opportunities here.
Thank you for that answer. And my next question is for Mr. Robertai. Who determines if a project is in the national interest? And keeping in mind the constitutional implications under Section 91 and 92?
It depends on what we mean by national interest. If we mean national interest in the constitutional sense, it should be the court, the tribunals. The parliament made the first judgment, and they adopt a law that they think is valid under the national doctrine, the national concern doctrine in constitutional law, but it's ultimately to the court to determine that if the Constitution is respected.
So essentially you're saying that this bill is a constitutionally invalid bill?
It's at risk to be declared invalid. It's up to the court to make a judgment on that point, but there are some risks.
Yes. Would you see, in your opinion, would a resource project like an oil and gas extraction be in the national interest, as you spoke about in Section 7?
Oh, it's a political decision to be made. It's not up to me to decide if an extraction project is in the national interest. But what I could say is that an extraction project is clearly within provincial jurisdiction under the Constitution.
Thank you.